The 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868, enshrined birthright citizenship as a cornerstone of American identity, granting automatic citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil, regardless of parental status. This promise of equality now faces its greatest threat under a potential Trump administration in 2025, as whispers of executive action swirl in conservative circles, aiming to redefine who truly belongs in the American story. Donald Trump's first term teased this controversy in 2018 when he floated ending birthright citizenship via executive order, claiming it incentivized illegal immigration. Though unrealized, the idea animated his base, blending nativism with legal revisionism. Fast forward to 2024 election rhetoric, Trump's vows of mass deportation signal a bolder assault, positioning citizenship as a privilege, not a right. Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation's blueprint for a second Trump era, explicitly calls for reinterpreting the 14th Amendment. It argues that subject to the jurisdiction thereof excludes children of undocumented immigrants, echoing fringe legal theories. If implemented, this could strip citizenship from millions, retroactively questioning the status of long-term residents born in the shadows. Historical context reveals birthright citizenship's roots in abolishing the Dred Scott decision, ensuring freed slaves and their descendants were full citizens. Trump's crackdown inverts this legacy, weaponizing the Constitution against the vulnerable. Legal scholars warn it could spark Supreme Court battles, with a conservative majority potentially tilting toward exclusionary interpretations. Imagine a child born in Los Angeles to Mexican parents who crossed the border years ago. Under current law, she's a citizen with all rights intact. But in Trump's 2025 vision, her papers might be invalidated, thrusting her into limbo. This isn't abstract policy, it's a human crisis looming over 4.5 million U.S.-born children of undocumented parents, per Pew Research. Trump's allies, including Stephen Miller, architect of family separations, are poised for key roles. Miller's 2019 memos outline pathways to challenge birthright via the Citizenship Clause. With Republican control of Congress and the judiciary, 2025 could see legislation or orders testing these boundaries, framing it as border security rather than civil rights erosion. Public opinion splits sharply. A 2023 Gallup poll shows 68% of Republicans support ending birthright for undocumented offspring, versus 80% of Democrats opposing. Trump's strategy leverages this divide, rallying his MAGA faithful by portraying citizenship as a loophole exploited by migrants, ignoring the amendment's plaintext and intent. Economically, the crackdown promises pain. Undocumented parents contribute $13 billion annually in taxes, per the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. Denying citizenship to their U.S.-born kids could deter work, education, and integration, stifling growth in states like California and Texas, where immigrant families fuel the economy. International ramifications loom large. The U.S. is one of 35 nations with unconditional birthright citizenship, altering it could isolate America diplomatically. Allies like Canada maintain similar policies, while critics abroad might decry it as xenophobic backsliding, damaging America's moral authority on human rights. Legal challenges would flood courts immediately. The ACLU and immigrant rights groups are preparing lawsuits, arguing any executive tweak violates the amendment's supremacy. Yet, with Trump-appointed justices like Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, a 63 conservative court might entertain originalist readings that exclude non-citizen parents' children. Trump's 2025 playbook draws from his first-term playbook, rapid executive actions to bypass Congress. An order could direct agencies to deny passports or benefits to affected births, creating de facto statelessness. This bureaucratic sieve would ensnare families, echoing Japanese internment's administrative injustices. Voices from the front lines: Maria, a Texas nurse born to Salvadoran parents, fears for her own children's future. "We've paid taxes, served our country, now they want to erase us?" Her story mirrors thousands, highlighting how the crackdown targets working-class Americans of color, deepening racial divides. Politically, this move cements Trump's legacy as an immigration hardliner. Post-2024 victory, it energizes the base for midterms, but risks alienating moderates. Polls indicate suburban voters, key to his win, worry about family separations and economic fallout from such draconian measures. Constitutional scholars like Erwin Chemerinsky decry it as profoundly un-American, warning of a slippery slope. If birthright falls, What's next? Denying citizenship to legal immigrants' kids. The peril extends to eroding due process for all, inviting authoritarian overreach. On the ground, advocacy groups like United We Dream mobilize. Their 2025 strategy includes voter drives and sanctuary expansions, but federal power could overwhelm local resistance. States like New York vow defiance, potentially igniting a federalism crisis over citizenship enforcement. Fiscal impacts. Denying citizenship means lost Social Security contributions from affected generations. The Congressional Budget Office estimates long-term costs at $100 billion in welfare and enforcement, as stateless individuals strain public resources without full societal integration. Trump's narrative frames this as anchor baby reform, a term laden with racism. Yet data from the Migration Policy Institute shows most U.S.-born to undocumented parents grow up contributing positively, with higher college attendance rates than average when supported. Supreme Court precedent, like United States v. Wong Kim Ark, affirmed birthright for non-citizen parents. Trump's team eyes overruling it, citing modern immigration pressures. This originalism twist ignores the ruling's embrace of just solely soil-based citizenship, vital to America's melting pot. Global migration trends amplify the stakes. With climate refugees rising, a restrictive U.S. policy signals hostility, potentially spurring international pacts excluding America. UNHCR warns of increased undocumented flows if birthright vanishes, complicating border management. Personal testimonies flood social media. A Florida teacher shares how her citizenship enabled her escape from poverty. Trump's plan steals that ladder from kids like mine, she says. These stories humanize the abstract, fueling protests and online campaigns against the 2025 agenda. Legislative hurdles. Even with GOP majorities, passing a constitutional amendment requires 2/3 Congress and 38 states, daunting. Thus, Trump leans on executive fiat and agency rules, mirroring his travel ban tactics to test judicial limits. Educational fallout. Schools in immigrant-heavy districts brace for chaos. Undocumented parents might withdraw kids fearing scrutiny, per the National Education Association. This exclusionary peril dims opportunities, perpetuating cycles of inequality for future generations. Trump's inner circle, including potential AG picks like Tom Homan, promises swift action. Homan's ICE blueprint includes birthright audits, targeting hospitals and vital records to flag suspect births, evoking dystopian surveillance of family life. Counter-arguments from conservatives. Some, like Rand Paul, caution against overreach, fearing it sets precedents for government overreach on all citizens. Yet MAGA hardliners dominate, viewing it as essential to America First purity. Health implications. Prenatal care for undocumented women already lags, adding citizenship fears could deter checkups, raising infant mortality. The American College of Obstetricians warns of public health crises in border states from this policy chill. Media amplification. Outlets like Fox News tout it as tough love, while MSNBC frames it as betrayal. This polarization deepens national rifts, with Trump's Truth Social posts likely igniting daily firestorms on the issue come 2025. Historical parallels. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 tested birthright, but Wong Kim Ark rebuked it. Trump's push revives that era's nativism, amid rising anti-Asian hate, threatening to unravel decades of inclusive jurisprudence. Economic sectors hit hardest. Agriculture and construction, reliant on mixed-status families, face labor shortages. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce opposes, estimating $1 trillion GDP loss over decades from disrupted workforce pipelines. Youth activism surges. DACA recipients and Dreamers lead coalitions, drawing parallels to civil rights marches. Their 2025 Citizenship for All rallies could sway public sentiment, pressuring even Republican lawmakers to balk. Judicial wildcards. If SCOTUS dodges a direct ruling, lower courts fragment enforcement. Blue states might issue conflicting guidance, creating a patchwork of citizenship that's unenforceable and unjust, prolonging family agonies. Trump's foreign policy tie-in, linking citizenship to trade deals with Mexico or China, using it as leverage. Yet experts predict backlash, as nations like Brazil expel U.S. diplomats in reciprocity, straining alliances. Psychological toll. Families live in dread, with therapists reporting spikes in anxiety among immigrant communities. The APA links such policies to intergenerational trauma, echoing effects of past exclusions like Operation Wetback. Bipartisan pushback emerges, even some Republicans, like Lindsey Graham, hedge on full repeal, preferring targeted reforms. This internal tension could dilute the crackdown, but Trump's veto power ensures hardline persistence. Technological angles: AI-driven border tech might scan birth records for parentage, per DHS plans. Privacy advocates decry this as Big Brother intrusion, with ACLU suits challenging data mining of hospital databases. Long-term demographics: ending Birthright accelerates America's aging population crisis, as fewer young citizens replace retirees. Census projections show a 10% workforce shrink by 2040 without immigrant integration. Cultural betrayal: Birthright symbolizes the American dream's accessibility. Trump's peril undermines this, fostering a fortress mentality that alienates global talent and erodes the nation's innovative edge. Resistance networks: underground groups aid document forgeries or relocations, but risks escalate. ICE's expanded powers under 2025 could criminalize helpers, mirroring Fugitive Slave Act enforcement horrors. Victory scenarios for opponents: if courts uphold Wong Kim Ark, the crackdown crumbles, boosting progressive causes. But a loss emboldens further erosions, like voting rights challenges for naturalized citizens. Ethical core: at stake is America's soul, whether it honors its constitutional promise of equality or succumbs to fear-driven exclusion. As 2025 dawns, the Birthright battle tests if the supreme law remains supreme or bends to political peril. The looming crackdown isn't just policy, it's a reckoning. From the 14th Amendment's emancipatory vow to today's shadowed threats, Trump's vision risks a divided nation. Vigilance from citizens, courts, and conscience may yet preserve the promise, averting betrayal's supreme shadow.